Hello everyone, Ron here from RJJ's Reactions, and I am back with Tim Minchin, and this song is called Cage Nerd. I haven't heard the song before, but I did pull up the lyrics to get ready to go over the lyrics once we've listened to the song, and I go through, because Word wants to self-correct things, so I go through and get rid of all the underlines and squiggles and things, and notice that there was some language in here, so you might not want to listen if you don't like that, or you might not want to go over the lyrics with me afterwards, which we'll do if you don't like language. But Tim does often use colorful language, shall we say. So I haven't read through all the lyrics, but I did notice that, and I haven't heard the song, so I'm very interested. We know that he has a great sense of humor. I don't know if this is a serious song. Cage Nerd makes me think it's probably a comedy, at least in part, but we'll soon find out. Just before I jump into the song, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. If you want to help out more, you can check in the description. There's a PayPal donation link and a Buy Me a Coffee link, and you can use those to bump up your request as well. The regular list is quite long, but I'm still adding to it. But if you want yours in a day or two, or sometimes hours, you can use that method. All right, let's jump into Cage Nerd. This says recorded live, Manchester Arena, UK. Not sure what he's got on his hand there. Looks like Edward Scissorhands, kind of, except that they're not scissors. Nice violins. I love that. Okay, intro with the violins, and then very dramatic here coming in. I can picture Tim. If you haven't seen some of Tim Minchin's live, watch a couple of those. You don't have to be my reactions, but they could be. Just watch them, and then when you listen to this, you can picture him. I don't know what he did on stage for this song, but I have my own image of him and his way of interpreting things. Yeah.
In this cage.
Sounds like a bit of a rap here, almost like a Eminem rap going on.
Drop down on a wire, emerge from a fire. There's only one place for the genuine stars, and that's hanging out in a bar.
ruins comedy like arenas. That is a well-established fact.
He sings this while he's recording live in Manchester Arena. And that really dramatic music sort of crumbled or collapsed, and then we have the piano. And of course, we know Tim is a great, fantastic pianist, in my opinion anyway. I'll back that up a little bit.
Nothing ruins comedy like arenas. That is a well-established fact. But your enjoyment is not as important as my self-esteem is. My ego's the only thing you can see clearly from the back. But I'm quite famous now, so suck my balls. I sold my tickets, my job is done. Fuck you all. Who cares about...
I think he's being very facetious here, but he may be also critiquing some. We'll look at the lyrics more specifically afterwards, but I'll mention that for now. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else, and it just leaves my brain.
Quality, this is not about you, this is all about me. And my tiny little penis and flogging DVD. Bring it on, fuck the punters, bring it on. I am a rock star motherfucker, and I won't be one for long. So bring it on, you gotta make hay in the shining sun. You gotta rock on the way up, cause the only way to go from here is down. But I'm trapped for now, and the fact for now is there's no escaping this. I'm wearing baseball caps to hide my face, so the paps don't snap my kids. All I ever wanted was to sing my little songs, but now I'm pregnant in Hello magazine, and I'm overweight in Cosmopolitan. So bring it on, before too long my wife and kids will be gone, 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 and I'll have wanked myself to death in the penthouse suite of the Four Seasons. So bring it on, phone the hookers, we'll stoke the bongs. I'm a rock star, I've got my own orchestra, I can do what I fucking want. I thought fame would make me happy, but she's a fickle, cheap romance. No one even listens to my lyrics, they just wanna see me dance.
Seems like a pause there anyway, so I'll pause. Yeah, it's very musical. You know, what he's singing is, it's hilarious, it's facetious, it's self-deprecating. There's a lot going on all at the same time, and it's all kind of just blending together in the lyrics. It's funny, he says, you know, nobody listens to his lyrics. I think lyrically, probably people pay more attention to Tim Minchin's lyrics than a lot of singers, because, and of course, he is alluding to a lot of other musicians and singers. Some he respects, some maybe not so much, I don't know. But a lot of them end up in the same dismal place sometimes too, don't they? The great ones, the not so great ones, and everyone in between. So he's really putting a lot together here. It's important message as well as humorous at the same time. And I don't think I'll be able to monetize this video because the language is something else. But all right, so we seem to be in a bit of a pause. Let's see where we're going. It's quite long too. I didn't realize it was this long.
Doesn't have a problem with drugs. He just doesn't get them. He's fine that his mates have tattoos. but he thinks they'll regret them. He likes going to pubs, but he hates it when the music's too loud. He tends not to go to rock concerts 'cause he can't stand the crowd. But all he's ever wanted to be is a rock star on MTV. But he knows that it's not fucking likely. He's in his mid-30s. He knows that he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep writing songs the world will never hear. And though they won't be heard, he'll just keep writing. Oh yeah. But you see, the problem is he always dreamt of being a star, but he learned piano instead of guitar. Which in the 90s didn't get you very far. So while the other kids were learning Stairway, he was the piano to their forte. But he was convinced one day he'd rock their fucking asses and be an icon for the disenfranchised masses, and grow his hair long and rebel against the state. But just for now that'd have to wait, 'cause he's running late for his morning classes. And he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep playing gigs that no one knows about, and though it sounds absurd, he'll just keep playing. Oh yeah. But you see, the problem is there's not much depth in what he's singing. He's a victim of his happy middle-class upbringing. So he can't write about the hood or bling-bling. So he sits and imagines his girlfriend is dead, to try and evoke some angst in his middle-class head. But the bitch is always fine at 9:30 when they go to bed. And he's not spent a single night in prison. He has no issues with nutrition. He has no drinking problem and no drug addiction. Unless you count the drugs they put in chicken. And marijuana always tends to make him cough. He doesn't look good with his t-shirt off, and when he tries to act tough, you can tell he's tricking. While his mates will go out late, popping pills and having fun, he goes home and showers and gets a good 8 hours. He gets his thrills from his morning run. While his mates will go on dates, taking speed and drinking cans of Jim Beam, he stays home and cooks, curls up with a book with a girl he's had since he was 17. 'Cause he's never really been part of the scene. Give him Guns N' Roses, he'll take Queen. He's more into Beatles than the Stones. He's more Stevie Wonder than Ramones. And he's never owned a transit van. He never shot a Pantera fan. He doesn't know the difference between metal and thrash. He couldn't tell you nothing about Axl and Slash. He likes Ben Folds and the Jackson 5. He knows all the words to Staying Alive. And though he tries to be all grungy and cool, he spent 11 years at a motherfucking private school. So it don't matter how he tries, he cannot hide behind his rock and roll lies. 'Cause you've either got it or you don't. Yeah, you need to rock it or you won't. Yeah, you've either got it or you don't. Yeah, you need to rock it or you won't. Yeah, you've either got it or you don't. Yeah, you need to rock it or you won't. Yeah, you either got it or you don't. Yeah, you need to rock
Music is great. Build up. The orchestra.
He knows that his music lacks depth, but it just can't be helped. He has nothing interesting to say, so he writes about himself. But he doesn't want to seem self-obsessed, so he writes in third person. In an attempt to seem more rock and roll, but he suspects it's not working. And deep in his heart he knows he will never be Bono or Bowie. And even if he was quite pretty, with small pants like Kylie, he knows that he will always be a rock and roll man. You keep writing songs the world will never hear. And do they want me heard? And just keep writing. Oh yeah. You might not like him, but he don't care. 'Cause he wants to rock, and he will never be deterred. But he'll always be a fucked up little try-hard wannabe rock and roll. Oh, nerd.
I thought so. The first few notes there, that was a little like Stairway to Heaven, and then there was an obvious Stairway to Heaven little piece there at the end. Really, really well done. It's amazing. I'm really looking forward to going through the lyrics more specifically. Picked up a lot of them through the song, at any rate. Very self-deprecating, but also alluding to many other groups or musicians, either directly or indirectly throughout. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Musically, it was amazing too. You're paying so much attention to his humor and his voice. Sometimes you can miss that, but the piano was exceptional. I'm assuming he was doing the piano. But all the music was great. You know, the building up and then dropping down to the piano alone with his voice, and everything that was happening, the violins, everything that was happening was really stellar. So let's have a look at the lyrics now. Cage Nerd by Tim Minchin. Yeah, I'm in a cage. Yeah, can you see me? I'm here in this cage. I'm in a cage. And then some language that's going to block monetization there. I'm in a cage, and it's gone to the stage when I can't be persuaded to set foot on stage unless some punk has paid for a cage, because a cage is all the rage in this day and age for the proper famous. Yeah, everybody gets put in a box or in a cage, I guess, you know, and once you start pleasing your fans, you probably have to continue to try to please your fans, or you feel that you have to continue to do the same thing. That's maybe what he's talking about a little bit there. It's outrageous that it's taken me ages to come to the stage when I'm arriving on stages in cages. There's probably subtext. Are you picking it up? It's a metaphor for who gives a... Yeah, I'm in a cage, you're in a cage, dude. I'm in a cage, so maybe we're all in cages. We put ourselves there sometimes, right? Let me just move over a little bit. I could have swung out on stage like the Britney and Pink thing, and then I could have linked it to the ups and downs of existence. I could have flown in a copter, rode in on a chopper, dropped down on a wire, emerged from a fire. There's only one place for the genuine stars, and that's hanging out in bars. So he's alluding to a lot of other artists who've used various methods to come onto the stage to attract attention to themselves, and then you know, sang or rapped or whatever about the ups and downs of existence, existential issues and problems and things. But we belong in bars. Nothing ruins comedy like arenas. I mentioned that when he said it because that was hilarious. That is a well-established fact. But your enjoyment is not as important as my self-esteem is. My ego is the only thing you can see clearly from the back, because he's suggesting his ego is so big. which I don't think it is with Tim. It's kind of facetious. It's funny, but I'm quite famous now, so I'll let you read that. I've sold my tickets. My job is done. Who cares about quality? This is not about you. This is all about me and my tiny little and flogging DVD. So, not really, I think, what Tim is all about. Obviously, it's a business too, so you have to make money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, I think he is being self-deprecating and talking about himself, but he's also talking about probably the industry and others, some of whom do just that. Only do what will bring more dollars. Don't really care about the quality of the product. Just they get to a point where they're so famous they can throw anything out. And people are just going to eat it up. And God forbid you should criticize them because they'll eat you up as well. I am talking from a little experience lately. But it's true that sometimes that does happen. Fortunately, I think a lot of artists, despite what people think, I think a lot of artists do want to produce quality material. Sometimes it's also the industry that forces them or pushes them. And I think that's the cage that he might be talking about here. Sometimes we put ourselves in the cage, but sometimes, in the music industry, the company puts you in the cage as well as the fans. So like I say, there's a lot going on here. He brought a lot of things together in a very humorous way. So bring it on, bring it on. I'm a rock star and I won't be one for long. Well, some rock stars don't last long, so maybe he felt at one time it'd be flash in the pan. But I think Tim's had some longevity already, and I don't know whether he considers himself a rock star or not. Probably not really, but he's certainly famous, and I think he's very, very popular still. He certainly is with me. You got to make hay in the shining sun. Yeah, so the old expression, you got to make hay while the sun shines. You got to rock all the way up because the only place to go from here is down. Yeah. But I'm trapped for now, and the fact for now is there's no escaping this. I'm wearing baseball caps to hide my face so the paps don't snap my kids. Also avoiding the paparazzi and protecting his children. All I ever wanted was to sing my little songs, but now I'm pregnant in Hello magazine and I'm overweight in Cosmopolitan. So, again, he refers to himself, but he's obviously referring to other people as well. I don't think Tim's ever been pregnant. Not that I know of. So bring it on. Before too long, my wife and kids will be gone, gone, gone. Again, something that happens to a lot of famous people, rock stars. Marriage doesn't last long, career sometimes disappears. And I'll have wanked myself to death in the penthouse suite of the Four Seasons. So bring it on, bring it on. Phone the hookers, stoke the bongs. I'm a rock star. I've got my own orchestra. I can do what I want. I thought fame would make me happy, but she's a fickle, cheap romance. They just want to see me dance. So, yeah, be careful what you wish for idea. I'm in a cage, only us stars are hanging out in bars. I'm in a cage, hanging out in bars. I'm in a cage, only us stars are hanging out in bars. I'm in a cage, hanging out in bars. Well, unless everybody thinks they're a star, but maybe that's true. Maybe that's what he's referring to. Sometimes when you've had a few drinks, everyone becomes a star in their own minds, right? And drinking themselves potentially to death at times. There was a lot more to the song. These are not all the lyrics that were in the song. There were a lot more lyrics there. But that gives us a taste of it anyway, and you could hear the lyrics throughout the song fairly well, so I'll leave it there for now. I'm a little disappointed because I know there was a lot more going on, but never mind. It's probably long enough. The video was, the music itself was pretty long, and then my talking is probably long enough, I guess, anyway. I really loved it. I think Tim is a very talented and ingenious writer of both comedy and music, and he's an amazing pianist. He's got a good voice. He played around with a little bit in this song, but I know that he can sing really well. Yeah, he's just got a lot going on, so I think he'll continue to be famous. I think he has longevity. And some of the other lyrics that he talked about was, not doing some of the things his friends were doing with the drugs as much. Marijuana just makes him calm, and he'd rather go home and cook a meal and things like that. So he lived a very different life, And he was a pianist rather than a guitarist in the 90s. It didn't take him too far. I'm remembering some of the lyrics that aren't here. Um, so yeah, he really referring a lot to himself, and as I've said too many times, very self-deprecating. But on the other hand, showing this sort of contrast between ego and a lack of self-esteem, actually trying to battle it out and make it without making it without, so yeah, there's a lot happening here. All right, I loved it. Let me know what else you'd like to hear from Tim Minchin or anyone else. Check out the description to see how to get your requests bumped up. Like the video if you did. I hope you did. Go to Tim Minchin's channel and subscribe there as well. Of course, support the artists. In the meantime, keep listening, keep having fun. It's Ron from RJJ's Reactions. Bye-bye for now.